What's up guys, it's Alex, now at the shop and one of the series of building E82, and this one is fun one. I already broke the car. Not necessarily broke it, but we have a little clutch slipping issue, which Musa kind of predicted. He told me it's like when you go more in power, the stock clutch is gonna go bad, and it's literally what happened. Like not even week driving it and clutch was gone. Car on jack stands, eagers are right there. About to take transmission down, putting some towels. And a cool thing, remember I mentioned the car came with bunch of parts and extras. This is a 335 IS clutch, which is rated to 550 wheel, which is perfect. That's what we're gonna do. Get the installation going right now. Igor is taking the transmission off, and while he's doing that, I'll be welding the differential. In this situation, already taking some stuff off. While he's doing that, I'll be doing the cover, taking the cover of the differential and welding it. So, and then once he gets done bolting the transmission, we're just gonna drop everything down and replace the clutch. And I'll kind of guide you through the whole process. As far as differential going, I thought of just taking the cover off. We've done it before on older BMWs like E34, but in this specific situation, since transmission's coming off, exhaust coming off, and drive shaft is going to be removed, it only requires me to remove this bolt, that bolt right there on the back of it, and one bolt that goes right there, and undo the axles, and the whole diff is gonna come down, which is gonna make my life cleaning it, welding, and just doing everything with it much easier. So I think we're just gonna do that. As far as transmission going, first the exhaust gotta come off. So in this situation, we're doing the whole thing. Then what else? Igor's already took some of the nuts for this stuff, so that's coming off. That's gonna allow us to get to the drive shaft in between. Yep. The next thing would be removing the transmission support, and at that point I will just be unbolting the transmission. Actually, right there, let me get it closer. Just unbolting everything on the transmission right there around the bell housing and dropping this whole thing down. So pretty straightforward stuff. I've done clutches before, but here I have extra pair of hands, which makes my life easier, and it's perfect opportunity to do the differential while we're here. One of the first steps, be careful when removing your O2 sensors, all the wiring brackets here. Cool thing is when you remove that bracket, it unbolts both of the bolts for the bell housing, so that's -2 right there. And I believe for the slave cylinder, it just unclips, and it's like a quick release design, so it makes life much easier compared to like GDM cars, where you got, in some cases, the slave is inside and you cannot unplug it from outside, and then you have to replete the whole thing again. So that's definitely a cool thing. And I'm about to start on the differential right there. I'm just gonna start with the axle bolts first, and then wait till everything here, like the exhaust, drive shaft, comes out, and then I'll get to the rest of it. The exhaust part is pretty straightforward and simple. You just get it out and pull it outside. Okay, gives us some room to work on everything else. And I'm gonna start working on diff right now. For the axle, we're using E12. And let's see if this little guy is gonna be able to take it off. Not even breaking a sweat. Nice and easy. There you go. And just continue doing the same for the rest of them. Not on this one, no. So. The head shield is already unbolted. We just got. It has clips. Клипы? Или он на резьбе? Okay. Yeah, it's a little annoying because it catches on threads and doesn't want to come down real well. This guy is a little annoying. And actually it took me a second to get the axles off, and as you can see they're nice and loose on both sides. Just take it off e-brake and just spin it like this and start on shooting them off. So, and with a decent impact gun, it takes a second to do so. Super nice thing to do. So at this point, just getting the drive shaft off, and then I'll be able to continue unbolting the rest of the differential of its mounting points. Gibo is still, I don't know how to say it, Gibo, whatever you call the thing, the rubber piece that connects transmission to drive shaft. But it actually comes off pretty nice. You just gotta use, какой ты используешь?
18.
Yeah, you use 19 or 18, 19, both gonna do the job and just impact everything out. So relatively easy stuff. And then the next step you're gonna do is remove the carrier bearing bolts, and the whole drive shaft is just gonna come down easy. From Japanese cars, you normally like remove your drive shaft, like there are 4 bolts right here holding the diff and then a spline that slides into the transmission. Here I had a little unexpected surprise since I'm still learning about BMWs. This is actually uses a special tool, and you really don't want to remove it because then you can just explode your differential if you don't install it properly. So we're just gonna pull the whole differential with the drive shaft out and just do it the way it is. I don't want to mess with any of this stuff, but for here, that's какой здесь размер? 18 for this guy. That's basically what you do. You undo these 2 bolts from the bushings, and then the 21 or 22 we haven't figured out yet. You remove this guy, and then the whole differential is gonna come out. And as far as axles, you can just kind of compress them down a little bit and push them up, and that's gonna free up the diff. And then from there, you just wanna jack it up right here and lower it. And we're about to do that. We gotta break it by hand. So ratchet it is. This guy is supposed to be pretty strong, so it's a good thing they still tight. There we go. But this one is halfway loose, and then we're just gonna undo this nut right there and support it with a jack and proceed to lowering it. The differential is out, and it's actually like, damn, this thing is beefy. It's like looking at my Lexus diffs and this one, it's like a fat boy. Like, dude, it's probably, it should hold a bunch of power. Thank you for scratching the floors. But yeah, let's take it to a car wash. So we're getting the thing to give it some wash. But yeah, let's go. How to properly walk your diff. Diff is getting better spas than I ever done in my life. Got pulled out, got cleaned. Now getting the fresh oil in after we get welded. But yeah, that's actually was really fun. Just dragging it on a drive shaft makes your life so much easier than instead of carrying this guy. But again, I cannot believe how fat this diff is. So I think it'll be fine, me clutch kicking and beating the crap out of it. So hopefully it holds, but I think it will. And I can see we have a filler hole right here, but we don't really have a drain hole. I mean, I kind of grinding the bolt down a bit, but that's okay. We still have 5 other places to grab to, so it's okay. So what I'm gonna do is undo these 2 bolts and just pry it, and like all of the other ones, and just pry it up lightly so the fluid started coming out right in here, and we should be good. Igor is enjoying some diff fluid. It looks like a nice, good quality beater, yeah. But diff on inside looks real good, and actually the diff fluid doesn't look dirty. I mean, now it's kind of all concentrated, look dark, but when it was coming out, it was pretty bright, and we didn't really see much of shavings in it. And as you can see, all the gears are in really good shape. And as of now, these gears go opposite direction, but that's not for long, because once we weld them, we have a completely locked differential. And on the inside, I'm just gonna zoom it in. That should look like that. All the gearing real clean, and I'm gonna put the rag with a screwdriver and clean right in between. But you see it as like where I'm spraying, it gets cleaned up. So that's what you wanna do. And then next thing you wanna, oh, not this way, like that. Oh yeah, that's actually right. We wanna turn it around. There you go. You see how this side is real dirty right there? So what you do is, and when you spray it, you can actually see it's cleaning everything up real well. So, and then afterwards, what you do is you put a screwdriver and a rag in between where the gears connect to each other right there, and you just weld it. Other way you can do is you can actually weld the actual gears to the case right here. That's gonna do exactly the same thing, but we're probably gonna do all of it. And shouldn't be any problem disconnecting or getting itself unwelded. This is about to go down. The most of the transmissions bolt unbolted and we couldn't disconnect it, and we were guessing what the heck if there are any bolts up top, but we took all of them and turns out there is one little guy right in there, that one that holds it from inside. Come on BMW, stop being so complicated. This guy took us an hour to figure out it even was there, because you cannot really see it from the back of a transmission, but you see it from the engine side. And it's so hard to get to this one, even like tilting the engine, two of us, everything, it's just annoying. I don't think we even want to put it back on because there are so many bolts holding this thing. I think it'll be okay if one bolt here is missing. I know it's a steel one. We're gonna give it a shot, but I'm not sure. It's so hard to put it on. And here's the moment of truth, taking off the clutch. There you go. So here's the flywheel. We got some burn spots, which is normal, sign of wear. But I think we're just gonna sand it, because new clutch is just gonna grind itself into this and lower everything out. Plus, car's gonna get driven pretty hard, so it just has no choice. Here we have the clutch, and you can definitely see the sign of wear, because yeah, and you see where it was skipping, yeah, like the white spots right there. So trash, just right there. That's day number 2 of changing the clutch and welding the diff. As you can see, transmission is brand spanking new. We washed it with the degreaser, and now would be nice to put it back since it's all clean. All the inside stuff is replaced, so new fork, new pivot bearing or whatever it's called. So all the stuff brand new, ready to go back in. Diff is welded. Don't judge me for my welds. It was cranked up all the way to 250 amps. And what I did, instead of putting the plate, I just welded the actual gears to the casing. That's sometimes some people say stronger, but I had the plate on my Lexus welded before, and plate actually came off. So this time I'm trying this, and it's done on both on the same sides. Now just using some RTV. You want to use some Scotch-Brite, some scraper first to get the old gaskets off, and some Scotch-Brite to just make it nice and clean, and then use some engine degreaser. Actually found out this thing works real nice to clean up all the oil and shit from the gears for welding. So the diff cover is on. I added the whole bottle of this thing was 900 milliliters, like 1 quart, 9 something. So, but it was at the bottom of the cover, and I couldn't do any more. So now I flipped it and took the cover, took the plug off, and added extra like 400 milliliters of fluid. So now we're good, ready to go back into the car. That'll be exciting. And me and Igor under the car again. And once you spin this, you should have this wheel and this wheel spin the same direction. That's how you know you have welded diff. I spin one, second one spins too. Both axles spin at the same time. Great job. Now moment of truth. Car is still in the air, but we just wanna test if the clutch is working. Let's see. Alright, that's on. And let's see. Putting in first gear. Yep, that's a success. Hell yeah, now just time to test. Stoked. We finished it in like, well, it was like we started yesterday around noon, and like 1 p.m. I would say, and today is 4 p.m. next day, and we completed a full transmission removal, new clutch, complete diff removal, welded it, cleaned it, put it back, and it works. Now we're just gonna lower the car down on the ground and go let it warm up and go do some testing. Just gonna see how the car reacts to like welded diff, what it wants to do, what it doesn't want to do. It might throw some like electrical codes because it's E-diff, so that's my trip on that one. But like Musa told me, we can either code it out or just pull the fuse, so it cannot do anything about it. But give us a few seconds, we'll be driving it. So that's the first drive after the clutch is installed. I don't actually feel any difference between like previous clutch and this one. This one supposed to be like 30% tighter, like stiffer than the previous clutch, but it feels exactly the same to me. Like nice to drive and everything. And yeah, we can feel the diff is actually welded. We're gonna go on a little cul-de-sac right there, and we're just gonna do U-turn, and you're gonna hear the diff chirping. So, and then once car warms up, we're gonna give it a little test, just one little donut, just to see how she does, because we're actually going to a track for full-blown testing day, and we don't support street drifting. So now I'm doing U-turn, and you're gonna hear the diff chirping. Yeah, you can probably hear it. It's pretty nice. So the car doing exactly what we need to do. So let's go warm it up a little bit. Our not the water, the oil temp is not high enough for us to get on it. Чуть на шере там обычно. Okay, we're just gonna do a little second gear. Okay, she does donuts. I kind of sucked because I didn't know what to expect from a car, but main thing, it's doing it. I think it's a success. Oh, I got a little nervous about it. I think it's a success. In 2 days we changed the clutch, took the diff off, welded the diff, put everything back, and car performs real well. Clutch is like, it's supposed to give it a break-in period, but who cares, right? It just, I mean, flywheel is not the freshest, so just gonna grind itself down to this whatever surface is there. And yeah, diff does exactly what it needs to do. just locks up, always locked. And only thing, like in my opinion, car is cutting down on power a little bit, because with how much power it makes now, it should just like light up the tire, second gear, and just keep spinning them. Then third, keep going, doing the same thing. Because like my Lexus is like first, second, third, you go through gears, you have no traction unless at the top of the third when you hook up, and then it's like gets even faster. But I think I'm gonna try and pull the fuse and see what it's gonna do, like the ABS fuse. And supposedly it should completely disable traction, ABS, all the stability stuff, and should unlock the full potential of the car. If no, Musa said he could code it out from the car, so it's not gonna be an issue anymore. But yeah, it was a cool experience, a little more learning on how to work on BMWs, and I couldn't do it without Igor and his mechanical skills. He definitely saved me like another day of work. If I did everything by myself, it would suck bad. But yeah, that's pretty much wraps up the video for today. And next video is gonna be the intercooler or coilovers. Don't know which one I'm gonna post first, but that's kind of the plan for the next few episodes. And after, I think we're gonna be taking car to a track once it's all lined and ready to go and check and everything checks out. Yeah, so if you guys enjoyed the video, give me a subscribe. And if you guys enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, give me a thumbs up, and we're gonna see you next time.